Thanks for that response. Let's break down your performance to see where you stand. For fluency and coherence, your ideas flowed well, and your transition from digital to print was smooth. On lexical resource, using terms like wide range and academic books was good, but you could elevate it further by incorporating specific collocations like depth of knowledge or mentioning taking information with a pinch of salt. Regarding grammatical range and accuracy, there was a minor issue with pluralization. It should be reliable sources and compare sources. Overall, I'd estimate your band score for this response at around a 6.0. To make it sound more natural, you could say, to be honest, I prefer searching on the internet because it's much faster and offers a wide range of information. However, when I need deeply reliable sources for my assignments, I still cross-reference them by looking into academic books. Let's move on to the next question. Should people spend hours on a website to find information?
Understood. I'll add that to the set of questions for our future practice rounds. For now, I'm still waiting for your response to the question I just asked. Should people spend hours on a website to find information? Please go ahead and answer so I can give you feedback and a band score. Alright, let's move on to another question from the list. Are there any changes to the websites you often visit? That was a fantastic response. Let's look at your performance. For fluency and coherence, your ideas were very well organized, and you used transitional phrases effectively to connect your points. Regarding lexical resource, you used sophisticated vocabulary such as major overhaul and user experience. On grammatical range and accuracy, your sentence structures were varied and complex, and the accuracy was high. All in all, I'd estimate your band score for this response to be a solid 7.0. To enhance it further, you could say, yes, absolutely. Many of my favorite applications and websites frequently undergo a major overhaul to revamp their layouts. For instance, platforms often update their algorithms to suggest more personalized content, which significantly improves my overall user experience. Ready for the next question? Do you find some websites more boring than others, and if so, why?
Sounds good. Let's pull another one from your list. What sort of things do you find most boring now? Whenever you're ready, give it a go.
That was an excellent answer. Let's look at how you did. For fluency and coherence, your ideas were very well structured, and your natural phrasing made the connection between your points very clear. On Lexical Resource, you used great vocabulary like tedious, scrolling aimlessly, and snooze fest. Regarding grammatical range and accuracy, your sentence structures were varied and the grammar was correct. Overall, I'd estimate your band score for this response to be a solid 7.0. To boost it even more, you could say, personally, I find engaging in repetitive tasks or waiting in line for an extended period to be incredibly tedious. Also, aimlessly scrolling through social media often feels like a total snooze fest and a significant waste of time. Let's move on to the next question. Do you find some websites more boring than others, and if so, why?
Alright, let's try this one. What do you do to stop yourself feeling bored? I am ready when you are.
That was another excellent response. Continuing from before, your ideas were very nicely structured, showing great fluency and coherence. You used some impressive vocabulary like occupied and refresh, which demonstrates a good lexical resource. Your grammar was accurate and varied, so I'd estimate your band score at a 7.0 for this response. To make it even more natural, you could say, personally, I try to keep myself busy with stimulating activities like playing football or exercising. If I'm stuck indoors, listening to energetic music or a podcast is also a fantastic way to stay productive and refreshed. Shall we try another question?
Here's the next question for you. Did you ever find school boring when you were a child? That was a great response. Let's look at your performance. For fluency and coherence, your ideas were very well structured, using terms like zoning out and passive learning to create a natural flow. On Lexical Resource, the vocabulary was quite descriptive, conveying your feelings of being unmotivated effectively. Regarding grammatical range and accuracy, there was a slight slip with having, but otherwise the sentence structures were sound. Overall, I'd estimate your band score at a 6.5. To polish it even further, you could say, yes, absolutely. When I was younger, having to sit through dull lessons with repetitive instructions made me feel very unmotivated. I remember often zoning out and staring out the window because the traditional style of passive learning just couldn't keep me engaged. Shall we try another question? Here is your next question.
What kinds of websites do you often visit?
That was a very good response. Let's take a look at your performance. For fluency and coherence, your ideas were arranged logically, and the transition between entertainment and educational sites was clear. On Lexical Resource, you used good expressions like go-to websites and a wealth of information. Regarding grammatical range and accuracy, there were some minor errors with prepositions in pluralization, such as saying except instead of visit, and a well instead of a wealth. Overall, I'd estimate your band score at a 6.0 for this response. To make it even better, you could say, to be honest, I visit a variety of sites daily, but my go-to websites are streaming platforms like YouTube, where I watch football highlights. In addition, I regularly visit educational platforms to download learning materials, as they offer a wealth of information. Ready for the next question? Should people spend hours on a website to find information?
Let's dive into another topic from.
Bạn vừa mới tải lên một bức ảnh chụp danh sách các câu hỏi và chủ đề IELTS Speaking Part 3 đó. Đây là những tài liệu rất hữu ích cho việc thực hành của bạn. Bạn có muốn tiếp tục với các câu hỏi này